This is Chris.
Hey!
Bit of a dance.
Yeah.
This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and I am with
Dave from Rampant Wolf Games.
He's not really Rampant Wolf because he don't move around a lot. Okay. Which is also a cat, like a wolf. Also, it's a thriller pose.
Well, that's the logo over there, right? So.
And we are here talking about the top game expansions. These are the top expansions for games, which is just exactly what I just said, just with the words flipped over.
Yep.
Expansions game top. You must, says Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
This was a bit difficult because when I started looking through them, I realized.
Yeah, I had a hard time too because for me it was an expansion that had to actually
contribute something
and make the game better, not just give it more.
Yeah.
Which, when I looked at it, I realized I have a lot of expansions that just give me more. They don't necessarily make the game better.
Yeah.
And there are also a lot of expansions that don't necessarily make the game better. They make the game more complex, which Fantasy Flight is a key. Like, what's that word? They're perpetrator of that. They're key to putting out expansions that don't necessarily make games better, but they add more to it. Like, rules wise. So,
mine are all. I think one of mine is a cheat.
Some of mine may be called a cheat because they're sort of sequels; they're not expansions.
Well, no, I don't have anything. Yeah, one of mine can be considered a sequel.
Yeah,
but that's pretty loose. No, it's not. It really, it kind of is. Kind of hard to explain. We'll get into it.
All right.
Top 5. Okay. Smash. Hulk smash.
Yep.
So my number 5, Near and Far Amber Mines, just came out.
Haven't played it yet.
There's a criticism and a moment of praise, and this is something. And this is for those people who know my review video. I don't know if he's seen it. He hasn't. Friends. Anyway, for my video, is that the one I said I love Near and Far. I love it, and then my fiance loves it. The issue with Near and Far is that its most enjoyable mechanic is the storybook.
Mm-hmm.
And the game is designed in such a way that you don't actually have to use it.
Yes.
You can play the game without the storybook.
Yeah.
Amber Mines gives you more game, which takes away from your desire to tell the story.
Yeah.
Right? So and there was conversations with people saying the fact originally there was more of an impetus to the story and people wanted more game. So I was like, isn't that, if you took out the story out of Near and Far, is it still a good game? That's, I guess, the biggest question.
See, that's the reason why I think you're going to like Madara when it finally comes out, because it's actually using their NDG, which is narrative-driven game system.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But Amber Mines is interesting because, yes, the criticism is it adds more game, but I still like the fact that he took the mines, which were kind of, I wouldn't say a broken mechanic, but you could really cheese the mines, and they made it a bit more interesting. So that's cool. So we'll always play with Amber Mines, but it also does something which I really like, and that is it adds a cooperative element to the last to a story involving the last chapter. So if you play through all the chapters of Near and Far, and you get to the last one, then you can actually play this cooperative version, which is almost like this narrative climax where characters suddenly work together instead of competing. And I like the idea that they swung that in the end. So that's why I put Amber Mines there, because it's a cool expansion. It adds a lot of new mechanics. I can see us always playing with it, which I guess is important when you talk about top game expansions, is you always play with it, always. Not, I love this expansion, but it only comes out occasionally. No, this is always going to hit the table. So that's and that's the reason why role player minions is, we'll always play with it, but it's actually not very good. That's my number 5, Near and Far Amber Mines.
Okay. So my number 5 is Sentinels of the Multiverse Oblivion. And
so which part of that colossal box, which is also off camera?
It was the end of it. Yeah, it was the last part of it. It has ties to being throes of what the heck's that guy's name? The big massive bad guy in the Marvel
Thanos?
Nope. In the X-Men universe.
Magneto?
Nope. He's the one that's like the Apocalypse?
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
The guy for some reason, Ivan Ooze.
Yeah. So it's basically Oblivion is Apocalypse in this game. So you end up taking him on. He has like 10,000 hit points to your 30.
Oh.
Oh, it's really hard. It is beatable, but it just I love how the game just harkens back a lot to, the Marvel characters and the superheroes. So it just gave it that extra little push and made it a little bit nostalgic for me.
That's cool. So that was your number 5.
That was my number 5.
My number 4 is part of the first sheet. And that's Grimslinger's Northern Territory, which is a game which I understand is flawed. And the more I play it, the more I realize that it's a flawed system. And it needs a bit more game. Yeah. But I like what they have so far. But Northern Territory does one thing important, and that was it tries to repair all the problems with Grimslingers. Yeah. It changes the map, makes it a dynamic map, gives you a full deck of cards, playable cards, 52 cards, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
I like the fact that they made branching story points into it, so now the original campaign has a branching story, so you make decisions that alters the game.
Yep.
They made combat with the characters a lot more important, like the way the gaming play works. It still deals with the rock paper scissors mechanic, which is still just not gelling in cooperative. It just doesn't gel in cooperative. And I made a joke with the with one when we were talking about games that need expansions. That one more expansion from Grimslingers and they'll fix it. But yeah, I will never play Basic Edition now that Northern Territory is out. So that's my number 4, Grimslingers Northern Territory.
Fair enough.
Number 3.
All right. So number 4.
Number 4. That was my number 4.
Yeah. So my number 4 is Agents of Swagman's Hope. It is a hard one to say.
Agents of Smirsh Smash Smash Smash.
It basically takes the game and you're James Bond. Everybody's James Bond in this game or similar to it, but on the world map you can travel around the world. But then there was Australia off here where you couldn't get to.
No one can get to Australia.
Yeah. Well, Swagman's Hope gives you an attachment board, which gives you finally Australia. So that changed the game and opened up some interesting little...
Why? No one wants to go to Australia.
Yeah, that's true.
Australia's a shit.
There is actually a part of the game where you can actually get stranded in the outback and you can't get out. Yeah. So
like the fate of everybody.
Agents of Smirsh Swagman's
By the way, my brother lives in Australia. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. All right, so number 3, we're talking about Subterra. So Subterra. There are 3 expansions of Subterra.
Okay.
One's called Extraction. The other one is called Biohazard, and one's called Investigation. Those are alternate forms of play. Extraction becomes the new default. Because Extraction gives you gear. So you can actually find tiles that have gear, which you can pick up, which gives you gear from other people that have died.
Yep.
And it gives you the quarter tile, which you need to play the game correctly. So if you haven't gotten the upgrade kit, which I'm still waiting for, then if you play Subterra Extraction, you get that corner tile, and you make sure you take out a cliff tile, and then you have a legal playing game, and you have a better game because you get these cool gear that you can pick up along the way, and the game is unchanged.
Yeah.
That's right. It is a fantastic expansion. Will not play without it, quite literally, because you could run off the board if you're not careful. So that's my number 3, Subterra Extraction. Really good game, and the Extraction is the default way of play.
Cool. All right.
Number 3 for you.
Number 3 is Itchy. Is Who Goes There Doc expansion. Just kidding. No.
You mean the only way you can win the game?
Number 3 is...
I think Doc comes with the base expansion. It's 2 other characters.
No, I think Doc is an expansion character.
Wow.
Yeah.
That game's so broken.
Number 3 is Tyrants of the Underdark Aberrations.
Also a game that I think I played it once again.
Yep.
And we know your wife loves it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good game. It just gives you more of the original and gives you... Because, of course, as it's a deck builder game, it changes how the flavor of the game when you include the other families, so... Pretty simple expansion. I'm surprised that Wizards of the Coast... Pretty sure that's who it is.
It's a D&D game.
Yeah. Has not released more for it. That's the only expansion they put out for it, and really you could do more. More decks. Why are there not more decks? It's
deck builders. That's the standard thing. Deck builders, you come out with more decks.
It's an area control game with deck building mechanics.
Yeah.
Give me more decks. I'll play the game more. But
Simple as that.
All right. Number 2.
Number 2 for me, going old school with Castle Panic.
Okay, which expansion?
Specifically, the only one that's worth a damn.
Not the Wizard Tower.
Yes, Wizard Tower.
Oh.
Why?
I've heard such bad things about the Wizard Tower.
Wizard Tower is you think, okay, Dark Titan is bad. There's I think there's 4 expansions, 3 or 4 expansions. Dark Titan is not a good expansion. The engineering expansion is mediocre at best. It takes one mechanic and makes it more complicated, which it didn't need to be. Every one of those expansions also adds a lot more complexity with the monsters, which is a really tremendous bad idea. Wizard's Tower simply adds a new mechanic without taking one away. It gives you wizard spells, which are all cool. Gives you this cool wizard tower that you put in, which is also cool. When we play with the engineering, I always find the engineering to just hamper me. It's making the game needlessly complicated, and as a result, makes it more difficult. It doesn't give me anything good in comparison. Yeah, you can light things on fire, you have a catapult. Your chances are never going to get to that extent. Most of the time, you're just using it to repair your walls, because you're never going to save up for the good stuff. Wizard Tower just gives you just magic spells. So I think it's really cool. I think it's the one expansion that you would get. I think most of the other ones are junk. So that's my number 2 pick, Castle Panic Wizard's Tower.
All right. So,
didn't agree with me, but okay.
No. I don't play Castle Panic. I don't play Star Trek Panic.
Yeah, which is a good game.
It is.
But not an expansion. It's a sequel. Or it's an offshoot.
Sure. Number 2 for me is Ghostbusters the Board Game 2. And I know you're going to say it's a sequel. It's not an expansion, but it is an expansion because you can play it with the first one.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yes.
This one time.
Well, you have to give it to me for the number 1 too. But anyways, it gives you finally ghost traps. Because that was the one thing that was weird about the game.
There was no ghost traps in the first game?
No, you shot them and you trapped the ghost and it's just like, oh.
No.
Yeah, I know,
this is
right?
not how you play.
Yeah.
You lay out your trap.
Yep.
You don't look into it. You look into it. You hold your thing and then you look away. The trap closes up. That's how you... Even the VR game was smart enough to have you have to throw it out.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
And the funny part is, it's not even in the rules. It's a variant rule to use the traps. I don't know. But anyways, so, yeah, and it gave you... it finally completed the story, because, I mean, there was no Ghostbusters 3, sadly.
Oh, there's going to be one now.
And, so, yeah, so... That one just... And it brought in... Also, all the characters from Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbusters, which is a good follow-up series, as well as it brought in all the characters from the real Ghostbusters. So the 2 cartoon series that were actually really good, it brought them into the game as well. So it basically pulled all of the Ghostbusters canon stuff before it went horribly, horribly wrong with what's his Feig? Something Feig was the director. I can't remember.
Peter. Yeah, I know the
yeah, that one.
Female Ghostbusters. But nothing against the film at all. But yeah.
No, that film was horrible.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, it was awesome. They catered to the fans in the Kickstarter because they made it the game that the fans wanted.
Yeah, you gotta have traps.
Well, no, but I mean, they even gave you stuff like minis for the actual...
Is Tobin in it?
Yes.
From the guy who wrote Tobin's Spirit Guide?
Well, the book is.
Oh, okay. Tobin's Spirit Guide. Of course, you have that in there.
Yeah. So that was my number 2.
Now you're number 2. All right, going to number 1. You're number 1.
All right, number 1. Dice Throne Season 2.
Oh, come on.
Because you can play it with Season 1.
It's a standalone.
Nope, because you can play Season 2 with Season 1, so it still counts as an expansion. And, honestly, the production quality was over the top. Did it need to be as expensive as it was? Probably not, but you know what? I like the direction they're going. Hopefully it'll be... Hopefully we'll actually see some different game mechanics. I would love to see all versus AI or even a one versus all element of that game.
So, it's your favorite, but it doesn't give you everything you want.
No. I'm hoping that'll be season 3. Alright, what's your favorite? It's Karuna, isn't it?
Covered doesn't even have an expansion.
Well, that's one of the problems.
Scythe, Rise of Fenris.
Haven't played it, got it, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I do,
hey,
yeah.
it gives you Tesla.
I wouldn't know, I haven't played it yet. It's
mean-
over there.
Okay, there's without going into spoilers, yeah, it gives you like expansions with Rasputin and stuff like that. But the fact that it does one thing I'd love it to do, and that's create a co-op version and a campaign mode.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, I could go without the dirigibles. I could go without the airships. I could go without the 5 and 6 player expansions because I'm never going to play that game with 5 and 6 players. Almost every expansion that they've come out with, I could skip. Fenris is the only one that I was even slightly interested in.
What about the Encounters expansion?
Same thing with everyone talked about Terraforming Mars. These expansions are amazing. I could do with all the expansions. I think every expansion for Terraforming Mars has been not. I agree. Every time,
been open.
Yeah, every time. Oh my God, you give out your own corporations, and every time I look at this, every time I look at an expansion for Terraforming Mars, I keep on coming to the realization this is not a game about science. This is a game about commerce and livre. My wife's gonna kill me. That French livre free market laissez-faire free market capitalism, and it's not a story that's pro science. It's pro
economy.
It's
an economic engine builder.
You might as well just call it the Fountainhead the board game, because it is such an Ayn Rand Unitarian it's just I love the game, but I'm starting to get really abrasive to the very apparent
wasn't it on our list of board games that just needs to stop with expansions? I'm pretty sure it was.
It might have been on my list, unless
I think it was on mine.
Yeah, if they come out with stuff that deals with like cooperation and more science based, but it seems like every expansion is just more about commerce and economy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's number 1, Scythe, Rise of Fenris.
All right. So counting them back down. Number 5, I had Sentinels Oblivion. Number 4 was Agents of Smirsh, Swagman's Hope. Number 3 was Tyrants of the Underdark, Aberrations. Number 2 was Ghostbusters, the board game 2. And number 1 was Dice Throne Season 2.
Mine was Near and Far Amber Mines, Grimsinger Northern Territories. Number 3, Subterra Extraction. 2, Castle Panic Wizard's Tower. And Scythe, Rise of Fenris.
Is number 1. Are you trying to rap? My name is Chris. You won't get this diss.
And that is the limit of my rapping skills.
That was the limit of mine too.
Okay, so I've been Chris.
And I've been Dave. And remember, play the game how you want. The rules are just a suggestion.
And you
change it up. I know, right?
I'm gonna write them down.
You're gonna have to write it on the cue card right here. Put it right there in a piece of paper. Laminate it.
I'm Chris. This is Dave. Eat me. How's that for an ending? All right.